Welcome aboard, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. This is my personal favourite bag, one of our biggest bags collectively, Steve and I's XDC, that is XinFin, XDC on the exchange. Guys, if you don't know much about XinFin or XDC, you can find out why we are so excited about this project and what it will do with the world in our intro video. I will leave a link at the end of this one, so bear with us whilst we go through a couple of interesting points around XinFin XDC. So obviously we had the update in the last video. I basically actually, to be fair, did a video and then I had to do another one a day later because this is how quick the space moves. And you know, we went from a conversation around roadmaps and things to come to a point where then all of a sudden they started announcing the bridging aspect of the DASL. So go and check those videos out as well if you missed those, if you want any more information, or you can of course drop into the XinFin official Twitter feed to get more information on that as well. We're going to pick up on this little article here. So how enterprises are using blockchain to enable trade finance. Now, a couple of things I want to pull out here. The trade finance market, $7.6 trillion, absolutely phenomenal. That is what they're trying to achieve, I believe, by 2026. This is what we actually covered, to be honest, in another video quite recently, similar to, not necessarily as big as this number, but certainly from the AI and IoT aspect in the IOTA platforms. That is another bag that I am picking up more and more of as we go along. So there's loads of really cool things of information in here, and loads of what I like is like the case studies and the thought process, you know, the real mind map of this aspect of what can blockchain and things like XDC do. And before I go and pick out a couple more of these nice keywords here, I just want to reiterate the whole point of tokenomics and things like this. I've done a few videos recently about like energy and healthcare. All of these interlace, guys, and for them to all work, you need a bridged system. I don't think it's all going to be just channeled through one or two or three kind of key players. In order for blockchain to work and for decentralization to truly kind of take control of this world, it really needs to be able to be interoperable across multitude of chains, and especially like, you know, hybrid chains, as well as the interlacing of those. So you're going to get a lot of projects out there doing a lot of work around that, because they've realized that yes, you might be a competitor now, but actually further down the line we're going to need you guys. So I really love this, because we always think about like trying to work towards something together as humanity, but it seems like we kind of always try and mess that up along the way. Technologies like blockchain and the whole decentralization aspect, especially in DeFi, or DeFi, sorry, I got told off for saying DeFi the other day. So, you know, DeFi space is really important, because it's a massive window of opportunity for anyone and everyone to be not just invested in it, but also reap the rewards of being involved in a system that utilizes this kind of thing. Now, of course, there's aspects of the world that we don't like right now and what's going to be happening in the next few years towards Agenda 30 and this and the other, but there's a lot of good things out of it as well. You know, we can have an opportunity to reduce fraud, corruption, allow people who have been unbankable to be bankable, to have people who have hardly any identity towards their name to be able to now do this and have power back in their hands using the smartphones and the apps, the wallets, the exchanges, reduction in things like fees, conversion rates, exchange rates, international rates. All of this will be eliminated. And I've just done the video earlier, please check it out on IOTA, one of the really cool projects that I absolutely love in the AI and IoT space. Tokenomics was around on that video about plastic cups, QR codes, and showing the history of a cup being recycled, and actually how you can remove tax and the implication on costs on your local councils, and thus you paying less money to these things and less human interaction needed. It was quite phenomenal, really. And as we enter supply chain mechanisms being more automated, autonomous, based on blockchain, based on AI algorithm, it all interlaces. And these guys like XDC XinFin are doing similar things in the financial aspect of the world. You've got things like here, as it says here, about, you know, gaps in trade. There's a multitude of trillions of dollars missed from the fact that things like KYC not being implemented. So know your customer, for example, high transaction costs, time, lack of efficiency in that aspect, missed trades. Could you imagine adding $1.5 trillion just from fixing those things into the economy of the world? It makes massive differences and it contributes to a better world for sure. Money makes the world go around. Unfortunately, it's an it's a necessity, an unwanted necessity sometimes, but we have to see how technology is improving this system, and that's what XinFin is all about. Not just for this aspect, by the way. XinFin, it covers a multitude of aspects of the world. And I did really like an interesting piece here. When we talked about people being unbankable, there was a really interesting statistic. I hope I can find it now. I've lost the page. Here we go. So, women-owned businesses are finding it hard to access finance with an average rejection rate of 44%. What is going on? And we talk about Agenda 30, like a lot of conspiracy theories out there and this, that and the other. And I go on a rant about Agenda 30 because I know that we're aiming towards that. Some of it's good and some of it's bad, but some of the good stuff about diversification and being fairer to the world. This is the kind of thing that what makes me so happy that I'm invested, not just in XinFin, but blockchain. I believe in the system. I believe in a fairer and better system where everyone's on a level playing field. It's a great reset. The Build Back Better, all these campaigns, they're shown as a circus feature on your national advertising campaigns from your politician, your government. The actual backstory is behind the World Economic Forum, who are the real people in charge, not the spokespeople you see taking your prime minister and president allocation seats. These people above them are the ones that are doing this. The sooner you read the Agenda 30 program from the UN Nations website, the better you will understand what's coming, and the better you can plan, and the better you can also, as an investor, think about what you do and don't want to be involved in. It's just the beginning, guys. These kind of things here, reduce the amount of paperwork, obviously helping the environment, it's helping resource efficiency and things like that. Degree of standardization to ensure that we don't have multiple regulations and thought processes and process in general. We just come to a standardized conclusion, things like smart contracts as an example. Increased speed of transactions and settlements thanks to the use of smart contracts, as I just mentioned, but also the tokenomics aspect as well. Reduction in fraud because of the things like know your customer, smart contract element, and blockchain technology. Blockchain technology obviously helps because it provides data, it holds data of historic information, but also information that cannot be manipulated, it cannot be changed. It's set in stone, okay? It's quite amazing to think of things like that. You think about property, estates, you can think about cars. You go and buy a used car and you'll be able to tell its whole entire history. If you've added a component to your car, because of the algorithm and AI of supply chain and product purchases and things like that, and the integration of your car as being part of the ecosystem on 5G or smart grid and AI, you then justify the different price points when you're buying and selling cars. And same place for housing. It will do it across the board. You'll go and buy products in the supermarket or this, that and the other, and you will know factually whether this price is manipulated or it's not fair, and you can battle it. And right now we don't have the data resource to manually check these things and keep on top of the processes. So like I said, XDC covers so many different aspects, but of course in the financial world, the hybrid blockchain isn't just offering for the private sector, it's also helping for the public sector. We are so early in this project. It's so undervalued. It's unbelievable. I could talk about it all day and every day, but I'm not going to, because right now we're going to jump into the chart and see where we've gone. If you find this video informative and other videos, please mash up that big like button. It massively helps the channel. And also hit that subscribe button if you're new or you have not subscribed yet either. We really do appreciate it, and we're smashing through towards the 2,000, and we absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for the support. Let's delve into the chart. A few observations. As we mentioned in the previous video, we managed to hit this buy point, which is fantastic news for us. So we managed to accumulate a few more from the ones that we purchased up at 19 odd cents. Sold at 19 cents. We've had a retracement, guys, all the way down here to around about just under 10 cents, 0.0987. This is a great achievement in the sense that we bounced back in 2 days in a row, almost confirming pretty much that support level, which was matched recently on the 10th and 9th of August. and on another number of occasions in the past as well. So hopefully we're seeing a good bullish momentum kicking with XDC. The news recently, especially in the last couple of weeks, have been absolutely phenomenal. Today we've had another nonsense Bitcoin day that has pulled it back slightly. I was a bit concerned yesterday when we had this small candle anyway, but to have come back down was a bit disappointing. But it's okay, guys, because XDC in the long run as well as short term is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We put in these lines way back here around when we were maybe beginning of September to see if hitting this support level where we might go, and we started tracking down to this area as we drew. But look what's happened now. We've tested the area as we said we would around this 10 cent mark, and we're now pushing back up towards this level here, and we've managed to do that just about nearly yesterday. On the 23rd of September we managed to achieve a high of 0.129, so that's pretty much 13 cents, guys, to be honest. Let's not be around the bush here, but we couldn't quite get there and close off. We had resistance twice. We haven't closed today, obviously, so at time of recording we haven't quite reached that, but I do anticipate a bit of sideways movement here with a next push up coming. Why am I thinking this? Well, the histogram is showing very nice low levels of sell-off volume now. It's almost like we're completing this cycle that we've been through since that 22nd, 23rd of August period, that we are now finally hit that retracement level. Just to remind everyone, that was about a 50% correction pretty much from that top point to a few days back. We didn't quite get to that lower region around 50-55 where we do still have our buy option in there, so we're going to keep that there just in case, but right now is looking quite good. So we need some stability over the next few days to keep above this sort of 11.7 mark. If we can do that, because we did have the rejection so far today, which is a great sign, I think then the next few days, maybe by the end of this week, we could be pushing XDC back up to these levels of 13, and arguably by next week into October get that support line confirmed as well. I do anticipate a bit of a bounce around here because we shot up back in August. We didn't really test that area. So I'm anticipating that we'll have a bit of sideways traction around this area, a bit of dip up and down waves. As I said, first week of October into the second, we will start pushing, I believe, for that 13 cent mark as a support level. I'm not saying that we won't go to there in that time, but I do anticipate a bit of waving movement before we jump up there. And then what I do anticipate beyond that is that as we approach the end of October, I really truly believe that we will start pushing back up to that 20 cent mark and trying to smash through that previous all-time high that we saw on the 21st of August, which was a close of 19.52 cents, I believe. I have massive aspirations for this project in this year as well as long term. This is super early. It's an absolute giant in the making. If you do not know much about it, as I said, go and check out the intro video. We'll leave a link at the end. R3 Corda, the people who are involved in that. In the next XDC video, actually, we'll go through the backing of XinFin and explain to you even more detail who is behind all of this. And then when you know that, you will realize why we are so excited, and many others are as well. The RSI is in a nice limbo position here. It's on the lower end of the spectrum, so I do anticipate, as I said, a bit of sideways waving movement for the next few days and maybe into next week before we start pushing that back up as well. And then people will start taking profits along the way, which you should do anyway, just in case of any movements downwards. You can reaccumulate, or you can obviously make your money and leave, or you can be one of those that just accumulates on dips. It's absolutely fine. Everyone's strategy is different. No right or wrong answer, but just whatever you do, take profits along the way. You never know where the top is, and you don't want to be missing out on that. So guys, that kind of wraps up XDC. Super bullish as always of this project. It could be the lowest point possible and I'll still be bullish about it because I know what's coming, and I hope you do now by the time you've watched all the various videos that we've done on XinFin XDC. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll wrap it up there. I'm going to bed. Bye bye.